I want to get your take on the potential of job creation on infrastructure. I mean, it seems to me that this would be an area that would create good-paying jobs if we're going to be rebuilding bridges and roads. Here's what he said last night about rebuilding America's infrastructure.
To launch our national rebuilding, I will be asking Congress to approve legislation that produces a $1 trillion investment in infrastructure of the United States, financed through both public and private capital, creating millions of new jobs. This effort will be guided by two core principles: buy American and hire American.
Richard, do you support the plan, and do you believe that it can lead to a significant job-creating proposal?
Oh, I think infrastructure is the way to get America back to work. First of all, it makes the country more competitive. Two, it puts us back to work and lets us fix problems that he was right. The last major infrastructure problem was Ike Eisenhower. We've been living on the backs of our parents' generation for too long, and we have a $3 trillion infrastructure deficit, not just to fix existing infrastructure, but to create the infrastructure of the future to let us compete in the future. Those will all create good jobs. It gets multiplied when the products that you use to fix the infrastructure are made in this country. That multiplies the job creator a lot. My concern, he talked last night about public-private partnerships, right. and they're good around the edges, but you're not going to get them to go into rural America where the infrastructure really is crumbling. In Appalachia and places like where I grew up, it has a little bit. It's going to take a major infusion of public capital. And I hope the principle he will use is that we will use those projects and insist on the lowest cost of capital so the tax dollar gets the biggest bang for the buck. If he does that, I think we'll support him wholeheartedly. Wow. $1 trillion is the right magnitude to be talking about. We think it's more. The Society of American Civil Engineers think it's more like $3 trillion. Wow. Where we're at.
I don't think that's going to go over well, $3 trillion. But with Republicans. I'm sorry, with Republicans.
He's talking in the right ballpark.
Yeah. Right.
And infrastructure, it's a 3- or 4-time winner for all of us.
What's happening at the AFL-CIO? You're confirming you actually are cutting jobs here in Washington at your headquarters. Is that right?
We're restructuring it. We're going to move people out to get us more, I guess, more effective, more lean, and to be able to focus more on doing campaigns, whether they're legislative campaigns, political campaigns, collective bargaining campaigns, or just issue campaigns. So we'll be restructuring here. We haven't restructured since 1955. So
is that a function, though, partly of what's gone on in terms of membership? Because we watch, you know, the union membership numbers having gone down over the last several years.
Well, actually, as a percentage they have, but actually in real numbers we haven't. Last year we actually picked up a couple 100,000 members. So it's not that. It's about us being more effective and more streamlined and being able to bring what we do in a more effective, focused manner and put a lot of emphasis in the field, because a lot of our fights right now to protect workers' rights are at the state level, not just here, because there hasn't been much done here for the last couple of years. So we fought at the state level, and we're creating a structure so that we can be more effective at the state level as well.
And I know one of those rights, as you said the last time you were with us, you wanted the $15 an hour wage, but the president has said a couple times, leave it to the states. Are you comfortable with that?
Well, if you leave it to the states, you're going to have wages become the thing that drives competition.
Right.
So if one state has a $5 an hour minimum and the other one has a $15,
that's a good point.
You're going to drive people to the $5 an hour, and you're going to create jobs at the lowest level and drive wages down.
Very good point.
That's why a federal minimum wage is so important.
We'll be watching that. Richard, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Richard Trumka there. We'll be right